Hello friends, back with me again Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel where we hear interesting stories about our saints. Have you ever heard of a saint so gentle, so kind, that even his enemies couldn't help but admire him? A leader who faced down emperors, not with force, but with unwavering faith and a heart full of love. Today we're diving into the incredible life of Saint Meletius of Antioch, a true giant of the 4th century church whose story is filled with drama, miracles, and profound inspiration. He was a man who navigated one of the most turbulent periods in Christian history, a time of deep division and political intrigue. His journey from a quiet bishop to a central figure in defining Christian doctrine is a testament to the power of conviction and gentleness. So, grab a seat and let's explore the legacy of this remarkable saint, a man who literally showed the world the fire of the Holy Spirit. Meletius was born around the year 310 in the city of Melitene, in what is now modern-day Turkey. He came from a noble and wealthy family, which afforded him an excellent education and a respected position in society. From an early age, he was known for his mild and gentle character. He wasn't someone who sought the spotlight or craved power. Instead, he was drawn to a life of piety and service. His reputation for virtue and wisdom grew, and he was first elected as the Bishop of Sebaste. However, his tenure there was short-lived. The community was difficult and resistant to his leadership, so he chose to retire to a quieter life of solitude in another city. But God had bigger plans for him. This period of quiet reflection was merely a preparation for the immense challenges that lay ahead, challenges that would place him at the very heart of the Christian world. The mid-4th century was a time of chaos for the Church. The Arian controversy was raging, a theological dispute that threatened to tear Christianity apart. Arians believed that Jesus Christ was a created being, subordinate to God the Father, which contradicted the traditional teaching of Christ's divinity. The Council of Nicaea in 325 had condemned Arianism, but the heresy persisted, and it even had powerful supporters, including several Roman emperors. It was into this firestorm that Meletius was called. In the year 360, the patriarchal throne of Antioch, one of the most important centers of Christianity, became vacant. The people of Antioch, both the Orthodox followers of the Nicene Creed and the Arians, were tired of the conflict. They were looking for a leader who was known for his moderation and holiness, someone who could bring peace. Both sides, remarkably, agreed on one man, Meletius. They saw in him a unifying figure, a man of impeccable character who seemed to stand above the fray. So, Meletius was brought to Antioch and consecrated as its patriarch. The emperor himself, the Arian-leaning Constantius II, was present and approved the election. Everyone eagerly awaited his first sermon, hoping to hear where he stood on the great debate. When Meletius finally rose to speak, he began by talking about moral subjects, avoiding the controversy. But then, as he reached the core of his message, he clearly and beautifully proclaimed the Orthodox faith of Nicaea, affirming that the Son is of one essence with the Father. The Arians in the crowd were furious. According to historical accounts, the Arian archdeacon rushed forward and physically covered Meletius's mouth to stop him from speaking. But a saint cannot be silenced so easily. This bold confession of faith marked the beginning of a long and difficult struggle, and it would cost him dearly. Just 1 month after his election, the Emperor Constantius II, angered by Meletius's orthodox sermon, banished him from Antioch. This was the first of 3 exiles Meletius would endure for his faith. He was sent back to his hometown of Melitene, while an Arian bishop was installed in his place. But the people of Antioch never forgot him. His gentleness, his courage, and his unwavering commitment to the truth had won their hearts. During his exile, he continued to lead his flock through letters and messengers, encouraging them to remain steadfast in the Nicene faith. He wasn't a firebrand who incited rebellion. Instead, he taught his followers to endure persecution with patience and love. When Constantius died, Meletius was allowed to return, only to be exiled again a few years later by the Emperor Valens, another Arian sympathizer. This cycle of exile and return defined much of his life. Through it all, his resolve never wavered. He understood that his suffering was a participation in the suffering of Christ, and he embraced it with a grace that inspired everyone around him. His exiles only strengthened his reputation as a true confessor of the faith. It was during this period of intense debate that one of the most famous events of Meletius's life occurred. He was at a gathering, trying to explain the difficult concept of the Holy Trinity to a crowd that included both believers and skeptics. The doctrine of three persons and one God was a major point of contention. Words alone seemed insufficient to convey this profound mystery. So, as he spoke, Meletius used a simple, powerful gesture. He raised his hand and showed the crowd three fingers, explaining that they represented the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Then, as he brought the three fingers together into one fist, symbolizing the one Godhead, a miraculous event took place. According to the accounts of eyewitnesses like Saint Gregory of Nyssa, a brilliant flash of fire, like a bolt of lightning, shot forth from his hand. The crowd was stunned into silence, overcome with awe. This wasn't just a clever illustration. It was a divine sign, a heavenly confirmation of the truth he was proclaiming. This miracle solidified his authority and became a legendary part of his story. A moment when the spiritual reality of the Trinity broke through into the physical world in a dazzling display of light and power. Meletius's influence extended far beyond the city of Antioch. He was a mentor and a spiritual father to some of the greatest saints of his era. Two of his most famous disciples were Saint Basil the Great and Saint John Chrysostom. He ordained Basil into the diaconate, setting him on the path to becoming one of the most influential theologians in church history. He also baptized and guided a young John Chrysostom, who would go on to become the renowned Archbishop of Constantinople, famous for his eloquent preaching, earning him the title Golden-Mouthed. Meletius's ability to recognize and nurture holiness in others was one of his greatest gifts. His leadership was not about control, but about empowerment. He built a community of faith that was strong, resilient, and deeply committed to Orthodox Christianity. He was a central figure in healing the Meletian Schism in Antioch, a complex internal division that had fractured the local church for decades. His patient and loving approach slowly but surely brought reconciliation and unity. In the year 381, the Emperor Theodosius the Great, a staunch supporter of the Nicene faith, convened the Second Ecumenical Council in Constantinople. This council was called to finally put an end to the Arian heresy and to clarify the Church's teaching on the Holy Spirit. Who did the emperor choose to preside over this monumental gathering? None other than the aged and revered bishop from Antioch, Saint Meletius. His reputation for holiness, his long-suffering for the faith, and his wisdom made him the perfect choice. It was the ultimate vindication of his life's work. He opened the council with a powerful address, but sadly, he would not see its conclusion. During the council, he fell ill and passed away peacefully. His death caused immense grief among all who were present. He was mourned not just as a leader, but as a beloved father. The great Saint Gregory of Nyssa delivered his funeral oration, praising his gentle spirit and steadfast faith. His body was carried back to Antioch in a grand procession, where he was buried with the honors of a true hero of the faith. Saint Meletius of Antioch left an indelible mark on the Christian Church. His feast day is celebrated every year on February 12th, a day to remember a man who combined extraordinary gentleness with unshakable courage. He teaches us that true strength isn't found in aggression or power, but in humility, patience, and a deep, abiding love for the truth. He stood against emperors, not with armies, but with the quiet confidence of a man who knew he was standing with God. His life reminds us that even in times of great division and confusion, a single person, filled with grace and committed to peace, can change the course of history. He defended the core doctrines of our faith, mentored future saints, and presided over a council that continues to shape Christian belief to this very day. His legacy is not just in the theological formulas he defended, but in the example of his holy life, a life of service, sacrifice, and love. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the life of Saint Meletius. If you found his story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of the incredible men and women who have shaped our faith. And don't forget to share this video with someone who might need a little inspiration today. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. See you in the next one, and God bless you always.